We'll hear a lot about licenses today. The CLA licenses, the JISC model license, and in the next section, Mahesh Madhavan describes what a license really is, how they actually work, and what the basic photocopying and scanning licenses permit users to do.
You heard in a previous session about educational copyright exceptions. The copyright exceptions, as you might now know, do not generally give you the right to use copyright material. They just state that certain activities do not infringe copyright. But what do you do if the exceptions do not apply to your situation? What do you do if you still want to photocopy from books or copy from online journals? How do you legally copy sound recordings or films from CDs or DVDs? How can you legally use content from the internet without infringing copyright? If you have any doubt on the using of content, either don't use it, or you get a permission from the copyright owner, or you obtain a license for using the content. But what exactly is a license, and what does it do? A copyright owner has some exclusive rights in his work. These are the right to copy the work, the right to issue copies of a work to the public, the right to rent or lend the work to the public, to play, show or perform the work in public, to communicate a work to the public, and the right to make an adaptation of the work. Now, the copyright owner may want to exploit these exclusive rights by transferring some of these rights to the public. One of the ways in which this may be done is by granting permission to the public to use his work for specific purposes. This transfer of rights is known as a license. The copyright owner is now the licensor, and the people or public who use his work are the licensees. But please note, a license does not involve the transfer of copyright in the work to the licensee. It is just a permission from the copyright owner to the user to perform certain acts with the copyright work. Granting a license each time for every use of a copyright work puts the copyright owner in a tight spot. For the copyright owner, it would mean monitoring and policing any copyright infringements and collecting a license fee every time the license is granted. So to address this problem, copyright owners assign their rights to an organization that administers, manages, and enforces their rights. These organizations are generally known as the collecting societies or collective licensing bodies. The collecting societies grant licenses for the use of the works and collect royalties for the copyright owners. They also have the authority to authorize specific uses of the copyright work, and they negotiate the licenses on behalf of their members. There are many organizations representing the rights holders. If what you want to do is to photocopy, scan, or retype extracts from printed books, journals, or magazines, the body that provides the license is the Copyright Licensing Agency, or the CLA. Licenses for the use of artistic works such as photographs and cartoons are granted by the Design and Artists Copyright Society, or the DACS. A license from the Educational Recording Agency, or the ERA, permits the recording of broadcasts made in the UK by the ERA members. PRS for music provides licenses if music is to be recorded in any format, performed or played in public, broadcast or made publicly available. If your university wants to show a film in a club or for social events, the Public Video Screening License, or PVSL, from Film Bank would help you do that. For colleges, the license is administered by the Centre for Education and Finance Management Limited, or CEFM. These licensing societies negotiate the terms of a license either with the associations representing the users or with each individual college or universities. The organizations representing the colleges include the Association of Colleges, the Association of Scottish Colleges, the Association of Northern Ireland Colleges, and the Association of Welsh Colleges. Now let's look into the licenses from the Copyright Licensing Agency for your institution. The CLA represents authors and publishers and provides blanket licenses for educational establishments. It offers a range of licenses. The basic licenses permit photocopying and scanning at your institution. The CLA license allows an institution to photocopy or scan, that is, make and distribute paper and digital copies from printed books, journals and magazines that are published in the UK. For any one course of study, you may copy up to one complete chapter from a book, one article from a journal, a short story or poem not exceeding 10 pages. If it's a published report of a judicial proceeding, you are entitled to copy up to the entire report of a single case, or you may copy up to 5% of the publication if it is greater than these. Copies can be made from paper to paper or paper to acetate. Scanned copies can be uploaded on a VLE. When putting copies on a VLE, it should be ensured that the copies are accessible only to the course users and tutors and by means of a secure authentication or on a password-protected VLE. The license allows for copying for use in PowerPoints. If an institution has distance learning students, the licensed copies may be sent to them, but the license does not permit further copying of the material outside the UK. There are also some restrictions on the copying that may be done. The license does not permit the use of artistic works in the production of slides. If artistic works are to be used in slide presentations, a different license, which is known as the DACS Slide Licensing Scheme, is available from the Design and Artists Copyright Society. The CLA provides a list of excluded categories or works from which copying is not permitted under the CLA license. Some of the excluded works include printed music, newspapers, maps, charts, books of tables, and published examination papers or workbooks. In order to copy from these works, permission is to be obtained directly from the copyright owner or the publisher of the work. The license does not allow digital copies to be edited, amended, manipulated, or modified. Therefore, no morphing, coloring, or shade adjustment may be done except for a visually impaired person. Also, you can't copy stills or advertisements. So a few thoughts before we go into the next session. The first point of contact, if you have any queries on copyright licensing or regarding the use of a copyright work, should be the licensing coordinator or copyright officer at your institution. The relevant licensing body might also be able to help you with clarification on the terms and conditions of licensing. If you want to use content from the web, always check the terms and conditions of use accompanying the content or the terms and conditions of use on the website. If you want to copy from a CD or a DVD, check the terms and conditions accompanying the CD or the DVD. If you have any doubt on whether you can use the content or whether the copyright exceptions apply to your situation, you should get a permission from the copyright owner or you should obtain a license. And if your institution has a license, you should make full use of it.